speaking to me now is victorious Jay Harris. Jay, you faced a late-minute opponent, but he was one tough guy in there tonight.
Oh, you know what, Brett? He came, didn't he? He came to fight like and everything. To be honest, he seen that I was a bit flat in the first round, and he capitalised on that. I'm not taking anything away from him. I wasn't I was a bit flat myself. Jab wasn't really working. I'm a bit disappointed in my performance, to be honest. But as they all say, you learn from this and become a better fighter from it.
For those people who don't know Brett Theodore, he's known throughout Britain as being a really tough customer. For perhaps people watching the interview who don't know about him, and he's always ready, and he always gives people tough fights.
Oh, too right. As you see, Brett's on a 5-win streak at the minute, knocking out the few prospects as they come in through. So yeah, and as you said, he's tough as they come. He's been in with literally everyone you can think of. He's only been stopped once, and that was a bit of a controversial stoppage against Selby, but that counts for itself. 47 losses, but only 1 stoppage. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy. I don't take nothing from him, to be honest.
Would it be the case, perhaps, in this fight that you were maybe looking past this fight? Because all of a sudden, your career has been stalling a little bit, and all of a sudden, you've had a load of opportunities come your way all of a sudden.
Yeah, this year's been crazy, man. It's last year was nothing. 2 fights, I was about it. Start this year now, bang, you know what I mean? Mandatory for the British, mandatory for the European. Maybe something else in the pipeline as well after that. And with this fight now, we had an opponent in mind that we were working on. And then he pulled out, and then we had another one through the week. And then he pulled out again. And then fair dues to Brett, he stepped in 10 o'clock last night, do you know what I mean? So, hats off to it. I can't knock it. I wanted to fight. I had to fight. I did 8 weeks of training or 9 weeks of training. If they would have called it off, I would have been devastated. It would have been all that work for nothing, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I learned from his performance and not try and look too far ahead of what I got. Like, do you know what I mean?
Why do you think opportunities are coming your direction now, all of a sudden, it seems?
You know what? I deserve them, to be honest. I've been 14-0 for a while now. A Commonwealth champion, defended it. I'm surprised it hasn't come earlier, but it just seems I haven't had the opportunity. But now people are starting to recognise exactly what I can do. Not from that performance, obviously, but I am better than that. But yeah, I think people are starting to recognise and starting to give me a chance. Like.
And what was it like boxing on this MTK show tonight? Obviously live across the world on IFL TV. Oh,
it's great. Do you know what I mean? They got an amazing platform. They're doing very well with the boxers. They're giving the boxers what they want. So it's brilliant. I'm happy to be a part of the team. And hopefully they can push me in the right direction and get me chasing titles and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very happy. Lee, they've done a marvellous job here, so I can't praise them enough. Like.
So where next for you? You mentioned you got plenty of opportunities, so can you give us a clue where we might see you fighting again?
We're going to wait for the purse bids now in March. March the 9th, I think the European one is, and I think March the 13th, I think, is the British. So we're going to see what's going on with that. And I think there's going to be a show in June, hopefully. MDK is putting on a show in June, and hopefully I can get a good title fight on that, maybe. We'll see.
What belt would mean the most to you, the British or the European?
Do you know what? They're both brilliant. You know, the British is an iconic belt, isn't it? So it'll be nice. My dad won it as well, so it'd be good to keep it in the family. Do you know what I mean? But if the European pops up, that's it. You win the European, you're up in the world level. Do you know what I mean? The next step is worlds. Do you know what I mean? If you win now, you go to the worlds. So any one of them, to be honest. Possibly European. Do you know what? I don't know.
And how much of a support has your dad been over the last sort of 12, 24 months when perhaps the times have been tough for you?
He's been brilliant. It's been stressful, to be honest. We've tried. We've been nagging Gary. Fair dues to Gary. Like, I've been on the phone. He's been pulling his hair out as well with it. He's been trying to search for fights after fights, trying to get me on shows. And now this has come up, which is brilliant. But my family and friends and all that, they've stuck by me through the hard times. Like, so I'm very grateful of it. They've stuck by me all the way through it. They always like, oh, when you fighting? And I'm like, do you know what? I don't know. And now this, and I've brought a good crowd up with me. They're loving it. So I'm grateful. Like, it's great.
And of course, just recently you were on the Turn the Lights Out podcast. What was that like?
Oh, a bunch of nutters, isn't he? Yeah, they're brilliant boys. I know James and David anyway. I've been on the podcast before. I know James back in the day from all the boxing and stuff, so I know his personality pretty well. So yeah, but the podcast is nuts, and they go on boxing, and the next minute we were talking about serial killers. It was nuts. But yeah, they were a great bunch of boys, and I think you're on it coming Sunday, so tune into that, innit?
And I watched you quite a few times in the amateurs, and I used to box Daniel Chapman quite a bit. And of course, Daniel now is involved in bare knuckle boxing. What's your thoughts on that?
You know what? Daniel Chapman, I wish he turned pro, to be honest, because he had all the attributes to be a great fight. He's still a great fighter, but he's just doing it in a different route that he's doing BKB, like, do you know what I mean? And training youngsters, which is awesome. But I think if he turned professionally, I think he'd be right up there. I'm a very talented boy. Even though I fought him in the lightweight, I fought him like 5 times, to be honest, Dan. So we go back way back, like every Welsh final, British final, stuff like that. It was nuts. But yeah, me and Dan go way back. And if he was boxing now, I think he'd be a good fighter to watch, like. And
then finally, Jade, have you just got a message for all those fans you mentioned who travelled down the M4 to support you tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say massive thank you to everyone who come up. All my mates, my family, friend, girlfriend, all of the Oscar Yaks come up. This just means the world, like, you know, if we can keep on coming to these shows and selling them out, it's better for Welsh boxing, I would say. Keep them coming, big fights in Wales all the time, and Wales will have a thriving boxing community again.
Okay, yeah, thank you, mate, and look forward to watching you box for a title sometime in the near future.
Thank you, Keith.
Cheers, mate, thank you.